Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Let's Draw Film, where I draw about film. I draw a fan art of the film, record myself draw it, and edit it, and have my voice speaking over the video, and talk about the film and how I draw it, and it's just me having a slight discussion about the film. This is completely my own opinion and my own interpretation of it, so take this with a grain of salt, please. This is also unscripted, so I might just not talk for a while, I think, because, just trying to record yourself and not having a script on hand. Maybe I should try the scripted next time, but this is just the first for everything. So what I'm trying to do here is draw one of the main characters from the film. And the film that I'm deciding to do for the first part of the series is Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation, which I think is a very stellar film. I highly recommend this film. It's one of the first movies I've seen this year. Second, actually. I like to keep a tab on things I watch. Just movies, really. I've been wanting to watch this movie for quite a while, and I just got around to seeing it, and boy oh boy did it drag my heart so bad. I guess the reason why it kind of just dragged my heart to hell and kind of made me emotional is the fact that it kind of just brought up something I've been thinking for a long time, and that is loneliness. It's something that we all experience, all the time. All, even if you are surrounded by people or none at all, you still feel a bit lonely. And it's a very daunting thought, but at the same time, I wouldn't say loneliness is, completely a bad thing. Sometimes solitude isn't really, you do find yourself being alone in most cases, but in this case, in this film, it's more or less like being alone in a place that you can't really understand, in an environment that you can't really, understand. And you try to find your footing on it, but it's not going well, and you feel so out of place, and there's no one that can reach you. That's what I got from the first 30 minutes of the film. and more, There's Charlotte, who we're introduced to in the first couple of minutes, that opening shot. She thinks she's married to a great man, where in fact this man is in fact completely swallowed by his whole work, his job or work as from what I'm getting, a film person, a person in the film industry. And she finds that he has no time for her, and that thought to me, kind of just breaks me, I guess, when you have no time for someone, but it's because of work, and we all get so consumed by work. And, she kind of finds her place in a very lonely state. It's kind of sad, but also kind of tedious to watch, because with a film, you're typically expected to have something on screen, where in fact there is something on screen, but it's the reaction of the actor slash character, you know, that really affects you. I mean, me in this film. It's all, you know, very flashy and very vibrant, and the characters really kind of not feeling it. And they feel so disconnected. And I feel like this is what Charlotte and Bob have in common. The kind of lost in translation, as the movie suggests. But they find each other halfway through the film, and you're introduced to, I think, fun. Like, the fun part of the film. I hope I'm not trashing the film by saying, oh, this part sucks because there's nothing going on in the film, and this part is the fun part because you actually see something going on. Or in fact, the whole, oh, I don't know what's going on, this movie's really slow and boring, there's nothing going on, is a sign of there really is nothing going on for these characters. Not yet. We're seeing how monotone, like my voice, and kind of just apathetic. I mean, Bob is very apathetic to this environment as well, because he can't find, footing, as I said before, with this environment. And I think he gets very bored of it. He's very apathetic of it, just not feeling it. And God, he feels so kind of isolated, even from his wife. He even thinks that his wife is, just too way into it. And you can tell he's simply, as usual, not having it. Also, I forgot to mention, we're 7 minutes in, and spoilers. I forgot to mention, I'm going to talk about spoilers through and through, because, as I said, this is just a complete rundown of what I think the film is, like, for me, my interpretation. Back to the interpretation, I feel like that's the kind of the introduction that we're seeing within the first half of the film. It's not like this film, I think, relies on most of the visual stimuli that film has to offer, and its rules and all that stuff. And rules, I mean, it's ways of making the audience understand the character. They display these images that kind of just say, oh, well, Charlotte and Bob are both lonely in this place that they don't seem to understand. And then there's that. I feel like there's really not much when it comes to dialogue or the narrative. It's more or less, I feel like, it's the character study of these two, and their circumstances and what they feel. And I mean, I very much connected with, and not connected, very, very invested in these characters, because, I think loneliness is a very universal feeling in this world, and, the film doesn't fail to do that. They do it very well. And then there's that sweet moment where they meet for the first time, and it's such a breath of relief. And it's so nice to, have these two characters interact, after enduring so much, probably too emotionally invested in this. Just having them talk, kind of just, oh, wow, nice. And you see them interact, and it's a breath of fresh air, and they finally have something to do, but more or less to feel. And that's it's both of them helping each other, trying to feel something, trying to decipher this environment and just moving along it, swimming in the same current as this environment instead of kind of going against it. So their interaction is, it's nothing like fancy, but it's just them eating out and going to karaoke and whatnot. So, it's kind of like what you do with your normal friends, but in this case, in this point, it's two lonely people who are yearning for something, and that is a connection. Say, togetherness in the film, and I feel like they've connected with each other so much that, in the final scene, it's heartbreaking for me to see that. Because at one point, nothing is forever, and it's all the memories that we have to cherish. It's all what we have left of people, because nothing is permanent. Okay, I'm becoming a tad bit nihilistic here, but alright, it's somewhat true. So at this point, Bob is moving back to America. Charlotte is, really, really loves his company and all that stuff, and I guess you could say they fell in love, not with each other, but their company, and it's a very gray area, I think, because I was watching this with my family, like just the first half of it, and they were like, "Oh, they're probably gonna fall in love, aren't they?" And it's like, well, no, it's a bit different. It's more or less falling in love with the company of a person, really, falling in love with togetherness and finding out that you don't have to become solo. I guess I apologize for stuff happening in the background, but it's the feeling of, I don't know, togetherness, I guess. And you can see on screen that, chemistry is, it's just a sight to see, really. And they're getting along, and everything's going fine and dandy, and, there's some hiccups here and there. But, yeah. I don't know, that's my take on the film. It's the feeling, of belonging. Oh man. Belonging with someone who's in the same situation as you, and trying to, make the best out of it. And they invest on those two characters interacting so much that in the end, kind of left with this bittersweet feeling. I love these types of films. They just leave you hanging. They always, whew, I don't know, it's kind of a pang in the chest, really. It's a pang in the chest. It's kind of like, man, I wish something good happened. Well, something good did happen. It's them interacting, and it's them having a great time, and it's that memory that, it wasn't also bad in that place. So, just, I don't know. And then she turns back, and then it's him, and it's a proper goodbye, and Jesus and the Mary Chains, just like Honey starts playing, and it's like very emotional. I cannot recommend this movie enough. I think this is one of my this goes on my one of my favorite top favorite most favorite top favorite most favorite one of my favorite films. I will probably like rewatch this again because it's I don't know, that whole scene of them interacting with each other, just I don't know, it's a feeling. It's something that all of us crave, a feeling of being together and whatnot. Okay, enough of me talking about the film, because I've been running on like 14 minutes of me talking about this film, and I've only got 5 minutes to talk about my process. Now, as you see, I wasn't able to record my sketch because I've been streaming this sketch, and turns out, no one's interested. So I kind of just did the sketch myself, and then I decided to record me coloring it, and I wish I picked a different color scheme because it looks so muddy to me. I did well with the eyes. I think the eyes did really well, but with the rest of her face, it's just muddy. It's kind of a mess in terms of using the tones. I could have used like dark brown, maybe. Excuse me, but oh, there we go. This is what you get for talking a long time. And I should have just redone it, but I had to do it. I had to finish this, so I might redo this again, maybe, possibly sometime. But I think it did turn out pretty well in terms of the accuracy, I guess. I was trying to make this as accurate as possible and trying to not make it look like, the eye's a bit off. But no, I think position wise it's okay. It's doing pretty well. I might be doing the hair now. I am doing the hair. Yeah, I think I did well with the hair too. I mean, I should have started with the darker brown, but I think it went well with the yellow. I think that's what I like about blonde hair, is that you start off with a very dark, saturated brown, and then you go upscale, and it's a very saturated yellow, and it has this grand illusion of, oh, it's blonde hair. It's very fantastic. I could have paid more attention with the blacks, with my use of black, because I feel like some of the blacks I've used weren't in the right place, or it didn't feel right. So there's that. Yeah. I think that's how I went with coloring this. Coloring it wasn't too bad. It was just a bit tedious, as most things are with digital coloring. I'm just skimming through the footage right now, and kind of looking back, I should have just taken more careful procedures, be more cautious of my strokes, because every stroke matters. I don't know, I feel so attached to the eyes. I think I really did well with the eyes. Yeah. I don't know. I think I mean, yeah. I was so proud of like the entire face and the hair that I didn't pay attention to the background, so I kind of just put blobs in it, I was like, nah, I'm not having it. It's just blobs of me. Blobs of color, trying to resemble, because the camera is focusing on her face right now, so there's nothing for the background. There's my failed attempt at doing a background. And I think this is where I'm gonna end today's episode of Let's Draw Film. There's definitely much more that I could really work on in terms of trying to draw in the style of realism, which, very tedious art style. A tedious art style in my own opinion, but once you finish it, it's like, whoa, totally realistic. And I think I'll just put on the image, the end result, and I think I did very well with it, Of course, there's a lot more to learn, but the film can... Oh, gosh, left me hanging, left me thinking. It just, I don't know, it really struck a chord with me. The ending was the final nail in the coffin. Very bittersweet. And there's a lot of food for thought with this film. Mostly around the two characters, I guess. So, this is where I'll leave today's episode. If you like this episode, give it a like, maybe. So, I guess I'll see you again soon. Bye.